fresh out the box. Stop, look and watch. Ready yet? Get set. It's all that.
And believe me, they're hovering over the button to have me killed. They're like, you kill him, it's going to make him bigger. Don't do it. They're having debates in their boardrooms. And that's fine, because you're all going to be dead soon, too, anyways. So, I mean...
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the happy home with trees and flowers and chirping birds and basket weavers who sit and smile and twiddle their thumbs and toes, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.
And one more thing on that, you lucky people here in Alabama might get a knock on your door, because I hear Alabama might be one of the most unvaccinated states in the nation. Well, Joe Biden wants to come talk to you guys. He's going to be sending one of his police state friends to your front door to knock on the door, take down your name, your address, your family members' names, your phone numbers, your cell phone numbers, probably ask for your social security number, and whether you've taken the vaccine or not. Yeah, well, what they don't know is in the South, we all love our Second Amendment rights. And we're not real big on strangers showing up on our front door, are we? They might not like the welcome they get.
Based on your newfound friendship, I have just some rapid-fire true or false questions for you. So just answer true or false. I'm gonna test your friendship with Sonic. Sonichu is one of the hidden characters you can unlock in Sonic Forces.
What is it, Sonichu?
Sonichu.
Correct. True.
It's actually false.
Oh, I know. I was going to say false.
Governor, I'm going to get back to that debate question in response to my partner's opening question. But you said something I just want to pin down. You said that when some people run, they are accused of mob connections. What do you mean by some people?
Well, all I can tell you is about my own experience, that in this campaign, it started with references to the fact that I come from Queens County, and that there's corruption in Queens County. More recently, one of my Republican opponents said that Cuomo made his bones with the Democratic Organization of Queens County. Made his bones, if you look at the dictionary of slang, is an expression used by so-called mafia people to indicate that you have been accepted as one of the elite in the mafia by having committed a murder or another felony on their behalf. Now, this was made by Mr. O'Rourke's running mate, who happens to be a prosecutor. Now, I don't know what that suggests to you. What it suggests to me is an attempt to create a kind of image of association with organized criminals.
Take on the whole kerfluffle, or what do you want to call it? Governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, is in a pickle or a kerfluffle or something. What is he?
The New York issue.
What do you think about all this? There was an investigation.
Yes, there was.
And they found that he was guilty of many counts of sexual harassment.
I do believe that some of the things were intended to... He may not have thought of them as harassment. Apparently, from what you hear of him, he may have just thought that, much like an orange freak that we know, thought that that was his right. Some of the things, I think, just are, one person I was talking to, oh, he kissed another man on the cheek. That's so gross. And I'm like, our family does that.
He's Italian. All Italians do that.
Our family does that. We're not Italian.
Yeah.
When the cousins and stuff are together.
Mm-hmm.
Some people even kiss each other on the lips when they're leaving. Big deal. It's not like a kiss. So some of it, I think, was just the way they are. And some of it, although that doesn't mean it's welcome to everybody, though, either. I think if there were some people in my universe who tried to hug me and rub their hand up and down my back or try to plop a kiss on my cheek, I'd be like, back up. No. This isn't how we play.
Aren't we talking about over 200 counts, though, in Cuomo's case?
There were lots.
I think it kind of adds up, yeah.
Yeah.
I get that he didn't...
Like I said, I think some of it was just the Italian or how they grew up, and he didn't mean some things to be offensive. And some of them, he was crossing the line and probably, like the Orange Goblin, thought it was just his right to do and say what he wanted to do and say.
Absolutely. I mean, he sort of grew up with power. His father had power. He's from a
powerful family.
Powerful family, thank you.
Well known,
barons.
Influential.
Yeah, so you can say, yeah, he probably didn't think that what he was doing was wrong a lot of the time. But what about the people who didn't do it? Lots of guys don't do that. So how about we give them credit and not, I mean, I don't like excusing. Now, I'm not saying you're excusing him, but I think
there
are people who are.
People who are. We're saying give people credit for not doing what's wrong. Mm-hmm. That's just the way you're supposed to live.
Well, true. But I mean, it kind of, if we bend over backwards trying to explain the behavior of guys like this, I mean, I don't know.
Who's bending over backwards? I think
there are apologists. I mean, I don't know what's going to, well, President Biden spoke out and said resign. It looks like he's not going to. It looks like he's going to go through the impeachment process.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I don't know how one obvious way to look at this is that it's complete hypocrisy for anybody who supports the GOP to even have a comment on this. But it seems like it's going to play into the Democrats' playbook that what they did to Al Franken was
crap.
Completely different. And this time it's justified. But once again, it's like they're trying to prove, hey, see, we are the good guys here. And you know what? The Republicans do not care that you're the good guy. Not a bit. All they're going to do is say, ha, got him. Bye, Cuomo. Ha.
Look at Democrat. Cuomo, Democrat.
Yeah. No one's going to say, we should treat Gates the same way or any of these other people with accusations. No, of course not. It's futile.
What about Trump?
Well,
rape.
Of course.
Multiple rape. Not just he slid his hand, he put his hand on my bottom. He came into a dressing room and raped me, is what the woman is saying, and still has the same outfit and can recount all of these women who can recount the experiences. She wasn't my type. And they're all like, okay. And now they're just all up in arms. This station didn't cover it. This station didn't cover it. And now look. And it's like, no. Yes, what he did is incredibly wrong and should not be overlooked. But you have Jim Jordan, who, again, knew wrestlers were being assaulted, molested by a school trainer, and y'all just back him up. And then you got Trump, and then you got, there's one more who was really bad recently.
In the same
vein. Mm-hmm. And they just brush all that aside. Oh, well, he says he didn't do it, so he says he didn't know anything about it. Oh, but Cuomo, it's like, no, if you can't, well, I'm sure you'll sit over there and complain about it, but I'm not going to listen to you. Somebody in my universe who is way on the other side of the world, ideologically, was starting to say something about it today. Oh, and did you hear? Yes, I did. And what do you think? It was wrong. And I did. I said, but what about? I said, when all this was going on, y'all didn't say a thing. Matter of fact, you backed him up. Well, no. If you're going to start, you got to play the whole song. I just got up and left. And I started saying, no, I don't. Enough said right there.
Yeah. No, it's a choice. I mean, look, Trump is their messiah, so they can't. Anything that he does is okay by definition because he's the messiah. It cannot be wrong if he does it. So, so the rapes are fine in his case. Nobody's even suggesting that anybody would look at that.
These women should feel blessed that he took time out of his filthy day.
There are people who believe that. There are women who believe that. That's the really, really terrifying thing to me. There are women who would print that on T-shirts and wear them.
I was watching a reality show where spoiled rich people get to cruise on mega yachts. Well, and this one rich woman who just is a Twinkie. You would not pick her for your Trivial Pursuit team. You would not choose her for Jeopardy. You would not choose her for anything. She's zippity-doo-dah running around. and I don't know if I can use this word, but titties for Trump.
Oh, nice.
Enough said right there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, I remember seeing a woman who was like holding up her shirt, and she had painted an arrow on her stomach. And it was like, Trump, please grab here.
Oh.
Yeah. And
not even on a
yeah.
triple dog dare.
Oh, dear. That's where they live amongst us.
I need
They
to go
really
shower. Nasty.
Yeah. So, Cuomo, do you think that he should resign?
I do.
I think he's going to be impeached.
What an attorney has said, he will not resign is the common belief, but that once the articles for impeachment are drawn up, the question is, would he rather resign than be impeached for his legacy?
Mm-hmm.
I think I would rather resign than be impeached. I mean, if you pretty much knew it was going to happen, what would you rather have as your legacy?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know what he stands to gain by not resigning. I mean, he's not denying the charges, right? I mean, he's saying
he never touched anyone inappropriately. He's sorry if people misunderstood or took his actions in the wrong way, but he never intentionally did anything to hurt anyone.
But I think a judge has already declared otherwise. Isn't that the thing here?
District attorney.
District attorney. Okay.
And there are more of them looking, and what they did in that office wouldn't be used in criminal cases, but could be used in civil cases. This was Manhattan, Southern District of Manhattan. Same gal who's one of the people looking at Trump. But now other courts are looking into him that could be criminal.
There are people who think this is a political hit job designed to take him out because they're aggressively pursuing Trump.
I don't live there. I'm not from there. But what you hear is that he is not popular, and there might be a lot of people celebrating that finally something came up. But I wouldn't want to think that this many women, I don't think this many women, because they have extemporaneous notes, gals who had told their friends, co-workers at the time it was happening, witnesses to one or two things. And this has been going on for years. I think there are probably people that are just happy he got caught and something's going to happen and he's going to be gone. Do I think he was set up? No, I don't think so. Do you?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I mean, he is less popular now than he was. He was very popular. I mean, he's been reelected. It's almost a given that he's reelected if he runs again. I mean, Mayor de Blasio is not very popular, but that's pretty much true of mayors. You know, the mayor of New York City hasn't been popular in a while, since Ed Koch, I guess.
Oh.
I remember when Mario Cuomo was running for governor against Ed Koch, the unofficial slogan that popped up, which the Cuomo campaign denied having anything to do with, was Cuomo or the homo. And
you're kidding.
no, that was a little thing. That predates me. I wasn't here yet. I moved to New York in 87. I guess this would have been 84 or something. Yeah, see, Ed Koch was a very, 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 very popular mayor of New York and a celebrity, too. He was on TV show. He would say, I'm Ed Koch, everybody loves me. You know, he was like the face of New York for so long. And a confirmed bachelor who was also, which would be fine, except he was also very hostile, openly hostile to gay rights, which is not so fine.
No.
Especially when everybody in the West Village knows that which bars you go to. It's really not a secret. It's like an open secret. I always liked Mario Cuomo. I really did. I was hoping that he would run for president, as a lot of people were hoping. And then the whole mob ties rumors started popping up. And it's kind of quaint that would derail a presidential campaign these days.
Well, it depends on what party you're in. Anymore, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he was very intellectual. He was a good talker, and
he has a strong presence.
You mean Mario or Andrew? Mario. Yeah. He definitely. Oh, Andrew does too. Yeah, Andrew does too. I mean, he probably went to the same charm school or whatever that his old man did. I don't know. I wasn't he kind of did the Giuliani thing of being in the right place at the right time. It's like whoever is in charge of New York during the pandemic, even though he did not do a great job overall, let's face it, especially with the nursing home situation. Fiasco.
Some things can be a whoops. That was not a whoops.
A whoops, yeah.
That was not.
A mulligan? Is that considered a mulligan?
No.
Okay. Yeah. No. So I wasn't, and he's just very arrogant. He was, I don't know. He made women swoon. Apparently, just he was very popular. I think among a certain type of. There was definitely a big push for him to run for president. And I suppose he could have had this not come back to him, but
it did.
It certainly did. So I say
it did. He did. It's done.
Yeah, he should get out of there. I don't know. Is there any way to spin this or to use this as to use it as a media? Now that there's a media platform to at least throw public shame upon the Republicans too.
No.
Like, okay, we'll do this if you do that type of thing.
No, because they have no shame. You and I both know that.
Well, no, but they would be shaming in the public eye is a different thing. They wouldn't admit shame and they wouldn't feel shame, definitely. But their constituents might see it that way. Would be the only hope.
I just think they're so forgiving of they just believe their own. No, I didn't know about that at all. Well, he says he didn't know. Well, the Ohio State has all of this paperwork, all this evidence that he did. They made that up just to get him. Okay.
Right. Well, they've come to the conclusion first, and then the evidence is either admitted or discarded according to how it fits the conclusion. It's simple, really. I wish I could think that way. It does sound like it's pretty satisfying,
Oh.
There's really no complications. It's just, okay.
Ugh.
So there's this guy who some would argue is the most documented person on the planet, probably in history, because, well, okay, his name's Chris Chan. Actually, it's Christian Chandler. And he was an autistic kid, and he got known he won a contest, a Sonic the Hedgehog contest. And they kind of made him a little celebrity over that. And he became one of the early internet celebrities. And unfortunately, because he's, as I said, he's autistic, and he has a very, very weird mannerisms and voice and everything, he became a target for people. Online bullying, right? Lots and lots of trolling, and it's really awful. He was very, very fascinating because.
And you're saying was.
Well, the story continues, but it's been going on for like 15 years or so. When he was a little kid, and he created a character for a Sonic the Hedgehog contest that was, he called it Sonichu, and it was half Sonic and half Pikachu from Pokemon. Basically, it was just Sonic, only yellow with a stripe. But it became a camp thing for a lot of people. And there were other people who kind of embraced it because it's like, oh, he's this autistic kid, and it's so sweet. And so he got this celebrity that his life is like completely documented because they ended up creating a wiki for him. And so every little detail of every text he sent, every email, every post that he made, every video, he had a video channel and everything is completely chronicled. And he got catfished a lot by people who pretended to be his friend, pretended to be girls. First of all, yeah. You know the term incel. He is incel. I mean, if you look in the dictionary, there's a picture of him.
Okay.
Yeah, these guys who are involuntarily celibate. They have a rage against women in general because women in general aren't having sex with them. Never mind, they have like no personal hygiene or social skills or really desire to even try to pick up anything like this that might help them in that. But anyway, it's better to just blame girls for this.
Sure.
So he's like the poster child for this. And he's also completely obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog and Pokemon and his own mythological world that he's created in his head with these characters. And it all becomes really deep and involved. And there's all these stories. And a guy has chronicled, he's made he calls the comprehensive saga of Chris Chan. And they're like 40-minute episodes, and he's already up to 59. And he's not even close to one. Anyway, here's where it takes it's taken some very dark turns before. Very dark turns. It's taken the darkest of all turns now, and it's actually gotten mainstream attention because of that. And he was arrested. Oh. And yes, he was arrested, and he is in jail now awaiting. Well, the charge is incest. And here's what happened. He has been living with his mother, who has dementia. She's 80 years old. Yes, and I'm not going to go into any detail, but somebody basically had him confess on a phone recording.
That he had relations with his mother? Absolutely,
yes. Now, here's the question. He was arrested for incest. Now, she's being evaluated, and the state is Virginia. And now, if she's found to actually have dementia, which would mean she could not consent, then he'll be charged with rape. Okay, now, if she's found competent, she would also be charged with incest in the state of Virginia. Now, there's no happy ending or any, moral or anything to this.
But what if they come out to find that this wasn't true?
That
this
I suppose
didn't happen.
Right.
That this person was coerced into this confession, not understanding what it was he was doing.
Well, my understanding is that they already tested the mother and then proceeded. They did a physical test of the mother first to determine, I don't know if they were looking specifically for semen or if they were looking for, I don't know what. He's been charged already. Oh. So I don't think I think they've already passed that hurdle.
This is a really sad story.
No, it's sad and it's horrible. I mean, here's the thing. The guy really, there's a lot of fascination in this story. Well, also at one point, he decided that he was trans and then later revealed that the reason was he's in a quest for a girl, a boyfriend-free girl. That's what he calls it. And he's
this
like,
isn't going to help.
Well, no, this probably won't help. No, you don't want to put this on your Tinder profile, son.
No.
But yeah, he got so immersed in this fantasy world. He believes that he's a goddess. I forget the name but he thinks that he's the reincarnation of this goddess. So that's why generally people don't consider him quote unquote real trans because he did it so he could get lesbians. That's why he actually confessed that that's why he did it. So because he's trans, there's the pronoun question, and some of the media are saying he, and naturally people jump out and say, oh no, it's she, you have to. And I mean, my opinion is the dude raped his mother. I'm not going to give him the courtesy of whatever pronoun he thinks he is. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
And he should be competent enough to know what he did was wrong. Or is he that far on the spectrum that he doesn't get that?
Yeah, I don't think he gets it. I don't think he even gets his plight yet, how severe his plight is. I think he was in front of the judge today for an arraignment and like threw a fit. He has so many toys. He has Legos too. He's into Legos and these little figurines. And if you see from his videos, if you see what his house looks like, they're complete hoarders. He and his mother. His father passed away. His father was in his 50s and his mother was in her 40s when he was born. And okay, nobody deserves this to happen to them at all. They really messed up with him. The parents were in complete denial about what he needed. They refused to get him therapy. They refused to get him in the proper schools. I mean, they created this problem. Again, I'm not saying, you reap what you sow or anything like that. It's just the system just failed. Also, I mean, like people never intervened. And what the hell was this guy doing caring for his 80-year-old demented mother when he's not even capable of taking care of himself?
No. Epic failure by the system.
Yeah. And just so sad. And
was he actually in the system if he had never been put in a special care situation where he had tutoring or whatever form of therapy would have been appropriate for him? If he wasn't in the system in that way, they wouldn't have known about the mother necessarily, perhaps.
I mean, early on when he was a kid, he was in special schools. Some of them were traumatic, I guess, and some weren't.
Huh.
So, I mean, the parents knew the diagnosis, but I think they kind of gave up on it early on. Like they didn't believe in therapy. They didn't, they were old school, and they'll grow out of it. And
because you grow out of those things.
And then
do you think it's quite possible that he really doesn't understand that what he did is wrong?
I think it is possible. I think it's likely, actually. If you see the video of his arrest, the cops taking him from his house to the police car, he's chatting up the police. He's talking about My Little Pony to the cops. He's totally living in a completely different reality and has been for some time. I mean, that was part of what makes him fascinating is that,
he's just going to, mother will go to assisted living or to a care center, and he will go to the appropriate care center, and they will call it a day.
Yeah, I mean, either he's found competent to stand trial.
I'm going to say not, from what you just said.
Right. I mean, if he did, I think he would be looking at upwards of 10 years. And if not, then he's probably going to go into some sort of
he would be put in a facility anyway. They wouldn't put him in Gen Pop into prison.
No.
Put him in solitary, so one way or another, he's facility bound.
Right. And just for the sake of, for the pronouns, as far as that goes, they booked him as female, charged as male, and the way they determine is what plumbing you have.
Yeah.
That's actually how they determine. It's like if you got one, then you're a man.
Well, they can't put you, especially if you've been charged with rape, they couldn't put you in a women's prison.
Right. Well, I think if you're charged with rape, they probably put you in
a
separate unit anyway, don't you? Like if you're a cop, they don't throw.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's probably like a special room for rapists and cops. I'm sure there's some overlap on the Venn diagram there. So there was a child predator sting in Florida. They nabbed 17 people. 3 of them were Disney World employees, which sounds scary, right? But
did you just say Disney?
Disney World. They worked at the Disney World theme park. Now, the thing to take into account, though, is that Disney World apparently is the number 2 employer in all of Florida, second to Walmart, of course. So I'm just saying a lot of people work for Disney. It doesn't necessarily, because I read the headline and I'm thinking, oh, there's like a child sex ring running out of Disney World. That's what they kind of want you to think. It's like scarier that way. But it could probably be that it's just coincidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's awful, obviously, but I don't think Disney maybe has anything to do with this.
I'm going to say Walt, probably not, but he's cryo, so what can he do?
That's actually a rumor. That's actually not even true. Walt Disney on Ice is not true.
Disney on Ice is real.
Disney on Ice is real.
But Walt
Frozen
Disney
on Ice
is not. Just for the sake of clarity.
Right, exactly. 2 different entities there. But you know whose head is Ted Williams, former Boston Red Sox great. For real. His son had his head removed, and it's kept in a cryogenic frozen state until someday. Now, here's what I don't get with that. Okay, it's Ted Williams, right? Great ball player. Boston Red Sox, great. And you're not going to save his arm? You're going to save like only the racist part of him?
Why do you freeze somebody's head? Why do you decapitate? Why do you have your father decapitated and freeze his head?
Well,
no.
They're thinking obviously the brain is the most important part, but still, if you're Ted Williams if you're Ted Williams' head and you wake up 200 years from now suddenly, how pissed would you be that it's just a head, right?
What is that show?
Or my arms.
Santa Clarita Diet.
Uh-huh.
Super funny show. Yeah, they keep a guy's head.
That's the Drew Barrymore
Yeah.
series, yeah. Ding.
Yeah.
Oh, I got points for that. Thank you. I'll take popular television shows for 500.
Who was originally was a realtor who they killed? She killed. And he played the realtor, and then he was the head for a season. Then he got his own show.
But he was the head for a season?
Yeah, he was the realtor.
Okay.
Who she
And
killed.
he was the head.
Yeah, his
Okay,
head
he
was
was
still alive. Who's the guy? And then he got his own show. I first became familiar with him on One Life to Live. Initials
Okay.
NF.
Not funny.
N as in Nathan.
No. Mm.
F as in.
Fillion?
Yeah!
Fillion?
Oh my
Right.
gosh, how'd you guess?
Probably the clues you gave me, I guess.
Oh, not vague enough, huh?
He was in One Life to Live?
Yeah. He played. Was he a son of Vicky? What's her name? Who was the main character, really? Or did he date the daughter of Vicky? Who, it was a long time ago.
I hope these are rhetorical questions because I don't know. I was on one of those shows. I don't think it was One Life to Live. I think it was. Was it As the World Turns? No.
Never watched that one.
Maybe it was. I wish I could remember now. Anyway, not important.
Oh, let's see. Have you heard about all the letters that have come out from he was kind of a nobody. Giuliani introduced him to Trump, but he wanted to be somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So he wrote this letter to Kemp, to 3 main people in Georgia, about how they had heard about something being wrong with the county of Georgia, and they needed to open an investigation.
Okay.
Suggesting that they did, and if they did not, kind of this threatening thing. And he was one of them behind the firing of Rosen, wanting it to happen because then hoping that he would be appointed attorney general, not qualified in the least, mind you. A good education, worked at a nice law firm, but not qualified, which is shocking for that administration because everyone was overqualified, I believe, for every post. I'm about to choke on my own lie. But then Donahue and all of these other people heard what was going on, and they wrote in that if anything happened to Rosen, they would all just quit en masse. And so Rosen didn't get fired. But now with this letter on top of these other letters that they've found, I'm just giddy for the subpoenas. I'm about to have to cancel everything as soon as these Senate trials go back on. Or the commission.
Yeah, what's the plan with that? And who's going to get subpoenaed first?
There are so many options now. I mean, it's really disgusting that Laura Ingraham, who is just disgusting anyway, and Tucker Carlson are calling those police officers crisis actors. They're getting death threats. People in law enforcement are not supporting them.
Mm-hmm. Of course, that's what they do. That's what those entertainers do. Laura Ingraham is the one who famously did the Nazi salute accidentally, which she quickly figured out that she was doing it, and she put her hand up to wave instead, did a little wave. But she was definitely doing a Nazi salute. There's video of it. You can tell. She forgets for a second which room she's in.
Are you kidding?
Oh no! This is I forget. Let me think. Where was this? It's at a big gathering of the GOP, and she clearly. I'll link it. She clearly puts her hand up in a salute, and then you can see the split second that she realizes what she's doing, and then she bends her arm and waves. But yeah, nice try, Laura. It's not really a dog whistle if you do the whole salute.
They keep doing the quiet things out loud.
That was one of the early ones. That's when, and then that's when they were doing. Remember when the OK symbol became the white supremacy symbol?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it started as a joke on 4chan, and the media picked it up, and there were enough dopes on 4chan who didn't know it was a joke who started doing it, so it actually was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It became what it was supposed to be. They were joking because the idea was they're going to pick some innocuous gesture and see if the media would get people angry about it, which is exactly what happened. But stupidly, the dumber, which is it's hard to even fathom the dumber, like degrees of dumb
Whew.
in the white supremacy movement, started using it for real. And so it became, so it actually is. Yeah. That doesn't mean, obviously, anybody who flashes the OK symbol innocently is doing white supremacy thing. They're not, or white power thing.
I think there are other kind of things generally around about the person that leads one in that direction.
The camo, the trucker's cap, the wraparound sunglasses,
Some
Confederate flag,
tattoos with the swastika or any other,
and those,
copy of Mein Kampf falling out of your pocket.
Now, let's not generalize. I mean, just because you have, like, Charlie Manson had a swastika tattoo on his forehead doesn't mean he was a Nazi.
And that wasn't even a tattoo. He cut that in with a knife.
Right. It was an etching. So New York is going to have not a mask mandate, but a vax mandate starting August 16th. You know about this? There's a new...
Yes.
Yeah, it's for restaurants, for gyms, for entertainment venues, which includes movie theaters, Broadway theaters, any entertainment venue, I guess. To gain entrance, you have to show your vaccination card, or there's an app you can use that will show you're vaccinated. So that's a good thing.
I think so. I do. I really, really do.
Got my card.
Carry it when I switch purses, handbags. I swap it out and carry it with me just in case. I do. I have, and I've said this before, one friend who cannot get it because of medical issues.
Mm-hmm.
And one friend who didn't, and I don't know if part of it's medical or what. To be honest, I didn't read the whole, this is why I'm not going to tell you thing, but blah, blah, blah. But I don't feel safe. And I know some other people who did not, will not. And honestly, I don't want to spend my time. I don't feel safe in close proximity. I don't. Probably nor should I. Because I know some of the people who didn't get them also wouldn't wear masks and thought we should just go out and do whatever we want. Tell that to 650,000 people plus their families and friends. And that just showed in Jacksonville, a 16-year-old passed away today, or on the 5th. Oh, and the January 6th Commission is going to take over the Department of Justice probe of January 6th Commission to take over the probe of the Trump DOJ.
And what does that mean?
The Department of Justice, all those letters and things that they're finding, that members of his Department of Justice, and phone calls. They have found more phone calls from him now that have come out. Who was it? I don't even remember the state. I'll have to find that. You don't have to worry about overturning it. Just say that you're going to do it, and then just leave it to me.
I think that was Georgia.
Okay, leave it to me and the R congressman.
The R congressman.
Republican congressman. Yeah. And then they show all these, all the meetings that they'd had, and it's Ghost Star, and of course Jim Jordan. I just find him so offensive. I find so many of them offensive. Ugh.
Yeah, I hope he's up on the list of subpoenas.
Oh, he should be.
He should be expecting one.
I'm like, get them quickly. Some of them are afraid right now. He's afraid. A reporter, I don't even remember where the reporter was from. I didn't recognize the letters. He was just asking me, so did you speak with President Trump on January 6th? Well, I spoke with him pretty much every day, so I don't know, yeah. Do you recall if you spoke with him before, during, or after the insurrection? Again, I talked to him almost every day, so I don't know, probably I'd say after, but I'd have to look. It was wonderful.
Yeah, that clip was in last week's intro. In fact.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess implies that you haven't listened to last week's show. But you'll catch up.
Right? Yeah. It's. Yeah. There's just stuff going on.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You're telling the guy who spends 10 hours with this, getting it into ship shape. All right. I get it.
I'm usually up to date. 1 week.
You can't spare the 55 minutes. I could make it shorter. You want me to make the next one shorter, just so you could, slip it into your schedule a little more easily. You tell me. So Eric Clapton, this guy, right? He's racist. He's a Brexit guy, and he's also, well, I knew this before because he's an anti-vax guy. He joined forces with Van Morrison. They put an album out together, and there's like 3 or 4 anti-lockdown, anti-mask wearing songs, which is pretty ridiculous. But so now Clapton's going to go on tour, and he has vowed to not play any venues where they require vaccinations. That's going to be his tour.
Okay, have fun.
Yeah.
Just go south, honey, and stay.
Now, Eric Clapton is, when I say he's racist, that's you heard about Rock Against Racism? It was a charity thing that a bunch of British rock musicians got together and played this big performance and to raise money and to raise awareness. The whole thing was because of Clapton, because of racist things that he had said. So when a whole organization is created to just because of your racism, you're probably racist. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess my point is fuck Eric Clapton.
So now I have to completely reconsider his music.
No, you don't. No, love the art, hate the artist. It's easy.
Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't change he created music. I mean, there's a lot of.
I'm still pretty much out on Kid Rock anymore.
Oh, see, I always thought he was a piece of.
Ted Nugent.
Oh. He's.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, not my style.
Not even a style.
It's kind of a style. Racist redneck.
Look at me not branching out. Just yuck. There was a shooting about a mile from my house.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Like a fashion shoot? Like a
commercial
or what?
Bang bang. Shot them down, and it was
like a Chicago bang bang.
2 cars apparently shooting at each other outside a multiplex cinema in the parking lot.
Okay. What was showing? Do you know?
No, they didn't go to the movie.
Oh, okay.
2 cars, 1 car took off, the other one remained because the driver was shot in the face.
Ooh.
And
killed, I assume?
No, critical condition.
Oh.
1 passenger in the car shot in the hip and the leg in critical condition, and then there was another passenger who didn't get hit at all. The other car took off, but it's kind of that no snitching thing, I guess, unless the kid doesn't know. But you got 2 cars in a parking lot. It wasn't a crowded parking lot. Huh. Yeah, I mean, honestly, stuff like that doesn't happen around here.
I imagine, yeah. Like how often?
I mean, in this hood.
Mm-hmm.
No, there have been there's a fair amount of crime in Lincoln anymore, I'm afraid to say.
Well, it's big enough that it should have some crime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that this area is just residential family, but then you go over, where it was. There's Cinex and a bunch of restaurants, and I don't want to say the names of the places though, but some stores and different things. But it's still a nice, wow, I don't want to sound poshy because it's not like it's Rodeo Drive, but it's still a family. This whole area of town, for the most part, is just kind of family.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really weird.
Wow. So it's still unsolved?
Yeah, just happened a couple days ago now.
Uh-huh.
Teens shot outside theater identified.
Yeah.
And I think I've heard one kid's name before. I'm like, huh. I don't know.
I saw this bizarre video today. I think it happened in the Bronx, where this guy driving a stolen car, and it's a lime green Mercedes Benz. And I don't know, somebody shot the video with their phone. So I don't know exactly how it started, but there's cops chasing after the guy, and he rams through several cars that are sitting there. And at one point, the cop has his gun drawn and pointed right at the driver's side window, right? The windows are smoked, so you can't see inside. I guess he couldn't determine if the guy was black or not. That's why he didn't shoot. But the guy gets away. The guy actually gets away. He slams into this other car, and then the car backs up, and then he slams into another car. Yeah, it's incredible. He gets away. I'm sure. I mean, I don't know how, a lime green Benz can.
Is that one of those
hide,
where
but
they make the determination, because he's hitting all these other people, that the danger factor for other people is too high, so they stop? That's a rule.
I don't think so. I'm going to guess it's more along the lines that they're already under pressure to tone down the violence because of things that have been going on recently, and they probably have an edict to try. It's really bizarre because they obviously kill people when they shouldn't, and in this instance, you look at it and you're like, this is a perfect example of the guy has already hurt people, and he's clearly not going to stop. He's going to put other people in danger. At this point, yes, you do shoot the one person who's. I mean, a moving car like that, it's a dangerous weapon.
Yeah.
You consider it like a gun. I mean, you consider that he's going after people to kill them. So, of course, you shoot through that window and kill him. I don't know why they didn't. I mean,
I don't know.
That's the only thing I can think of. Is
they do have a rule here that if they are in pursuit and it does seem to get too dangerous if other people are being injured, they pull back.
Well, I wouldn't call this a pursuit because the guy's blocked in by cars, right? But he just keeps pushing.
I didn't know it was blocked in.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it's blocked in. It's in a pretty confined area, and he's blocked in at first, but he keeps going, and then he slams into a car, which kind of knocks it out of the way, and then he backs up a little bit. And meanwhile, there's like 3 or 4 cops surrounding his car. One's got his gun drawn, pointed right at the driver's window, and doesn't take a shot. And the guy just hits the gas again, plows into another car. And that car moves out of the way, and then he gets out. He just works his way through the little crowd there, and 14 people injured.
Wow.
Yeah, and he got away so far. I mean, maybe they've caught him.
You would hope that they tracked him once he got out of there.
Well, it's a pretty distinct looking car, yeah.
Yeah.
Although it was stolen, so he could have ditched it, I suppose. And I don't know. I hope they caught him.
Huh.
Yeah, that's another day in New York,
Yeah. Okay, I don't talk much about my son, but I'm going to brag. He is on vacation someplace and by a beach.
Uh-huh.
And he can catch flies in his hands, right? He's always been able to do that since he was young.
Okay.
Flies midair, and he just goes, whoop, caught 3 hermit crabs and a fish.
Wow.
Out in the water.
With his bare hand?
Yep. Yes, he did.
Wow. Now, see, I share the skill of catching flies with my bare hand. I can do that. But I don't think I could do the other. Never tried it, but that sounds pretty skillful.
It's a gift. It's a gift.
Do you think could he do it like with his teeth? Like hands behind the back type of thing?
I don't know, but we're not going to try it. I won't stop opening any of that kind of water.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Nah.
Fish do things in that water, right?
Yes.
Do everything.
Yeah, they do. They just kind of, I suppose it's kind of like when people get in and go potty in a river or a great big lake or the ocean, they figure there's enough.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Sure.
There's enough water.
Yeah. I'll pee anytime I see a body of water. I have to.
Gotta go.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I probably have done that once or twice. Well, when you're out boating.
Of course.
You have no choice.
There's no ladies' room on a boat.
Nah. That's just becomes the ladies' ladder.
The ladies' ladder?
Yeah. And the guys will hang off the end of the boat, and it's the dude's dock. You know what I'm saying?
Oh. Okay.
Duck
out with your dock out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I get to go have lunch with a friend of mine that I haven't seen in a long time. We met, our sons have been friends for many years. And life does what it does, and everybody gets very busy. And we would get in touch with each other occasionally say, we need to get together, and then we would try and something, it wouldn't work out for one or the other of us. And tomorrow we're going for lunch. We had to change the time. We had to alter the time just half an hour. We are actually going, and I'm very excited. Yay.
All right. Yay, Mary.
Yay, lunch.
Is it going to be a free lunch?
No.
Dutch?
Oh,
Or you're buying?
I don't know. I have to think. I kind of believe whoever extends the invitation. And I'm thinking, actually have to go back and look at our conversations. It may have been me who originally, this last time.
Is that how it works? Whoever issues the invitation?
I think so.
Pay? Really?
I think so.
Huh.
If you invite this person, would you like to go to lunch? Yeah, and then invite within your means. I had many years ago, I had a friend who came from a very different background than I did. Our families were in very different tax brackets. And we were such good pals, and we had so much fun. And I mean, at 20, we were going to the country club for dinner or whatever, which was not something it's the country club of. And it was just like, oh, Lordy almighty. Ah! And there was a time that I felt pretty bad, and I just sat down, had a talk, and he's like, what? No. And there's always in my mind the idea of reciprocity, which really isn't necessary, but it was just programmed. And so it was always, no, you don't have to. If I invite you to go do something, you don't have to invite me to go do something. If you choose to, then it was okay to do what I could within my means. Because it was taking a bit of a toll on our friendship. And that was my own insecurity and stupidity. Because money, that was how he had grown up. So it didn't mean that much to him. It wasn't a big deal to him. And it wasn't a date. It was never dates, so he wasn't trying to impress me. We were just friends going and having fun. So once I got over that hurdle, it was just like, oh, okay, I get it. And then just went back to having fun.
I guess I'd never thought of the etiquette, though. I guess I would expect that you would just split the tab unless somebody actually said, hey, you want to go to lunch? I'm buying. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I ask most of my friends if we go do anything, it's the girls going out for coffee or tea anyway, and you might get a muffin or a bagel. So it's not like I'm not in New York, so it's not a $70 outpouring here.
I told